Hey everybody, thank you for joining us this segment of Goddard at a Glance. I'm Councilman Aubrey Collins. I got today with me Chief Lance Beagley. He's our Chief of Police here in Goddard. And Chief, thank you for being here.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man.
Good.
Yeah. Thought we'd do just have a little conversation. Tell us a little bit about your department.
Yeah.
About your officers and.
Yeah. Well, for anybody that doesn't know, Goddard is a pretty small community, but we are located just at the edge of Wichita. We're a department. Our department is made up of 14 commissioned staff members and 1 civilian in the office staff member. So we kind of grow with the city's growth.
Yeah.
And right now we are at 14 commissioned law enforcement officers.
Good deal. As we progress with the population, the city's growing. You know, one of the big appeals here is that as Goddard has that small town feel.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So in the future, we're going to be growing a little bit more. How do we maintain that small town feel and still be with the latest technology and keeping the law enforcement up to?
I think as long as everyone that's going down Goddard Road still waves. Yeah. We'll maintain that small town philosophy. But no, really, it comes down to how, in reflect to our police department and how we interact, that small town feeling really can still be maintained with our approach and our ability to respond quickly to calls.
Right.
And each officer's ability to not just respond to a call and then pass the information on to be followed up later on by someone else, but to take on the whole responsibility of whatever they're called to, whatever the nature of the situation is that they need to respond to and help out and assist the citizen or the motorist from potentially the worst day of their life to the finality of that case and the conclusion of it.
Right. Tell me about some of your staffing. What kind of training you guys go through? What kind of certifications?
Well, every officer will be certified through or under the guidance of the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center. That is the entity that regulates the training in Kansas. And so each officer, if we were to hire you as an officer, you would attend the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center in Yoder, which is near Hutchinson. It's a 14-week session. Prior to that, we'd probably give you a little bit of some bring you up to speed kind of knowledge to help you out in the academy. And then after you graduate the academy, you're a certified law enforcement officer, but we don't want to just put you on the street, and we'll put you through a very rigorous field training phase, which could consist of either 2 or maybe 3 different law enforcement officers with us. You'll be riding with them. They're certified as field training officers, and there's a regimen of categories of topics and situations that you have to cover and be successful in handling before you're released on your own. Okay. So, but even there, the learning doesn't stop.
What kind of candidate does that look like? If somebody was interested in joining law enforcement, so what kind of criteria are you looking for? What's that person look like? You know,
it's not just specific to someone who's been in the military or someone who has maybe a master's in criminal justice or law. It could be just a combination of things, but what the main characteristic that I'm looking for is their heart and their character, and are they teachable? If they can be taught something and they have this good character inside of them to help people, that's the character we're looking for, because we can teach and we can send officers to classes all over the country, which we do. But if the person doesn't have the heart and the caring capability and the humbleness, then it's probably not going to be a good career or at least employment with us.
Right. Okay. I know you guys are involved in a lot of activities in the community, right? Yeah. Some events and stuff. Tell me a little bit more about that. What kind of involvement you guys do?
I mean, every year there's an annual National Night Out, which is pretty specific to Goddard as far as how it's handled. It is a larger event than even other surrounding cities have for National Night Out. National Night Out really was created for citizens in the community to get together and know each other and have a communication and a relationship with law enforcement. And that has been very successful, especially in the last few years, as it's just grown tremendously with thousands of people attending. It's a night in August that every year we put together with the chamber and lots of other entities as far as churches and businesses arrive, and everything is free. There's nothing for sale. Everything's free. It's just fun. We bring out all sorts of law enforcement entities, and the last few years we've had a helicopter, either a medical helicopter or a highway patrol helicopter, a police canine, the Wichita Police Mounted Unit, different military entities and businesses around here that everyone can just kind of come out that night on a Friday night and just relax and see what the community has to offer and come out and meet us.
I think it's real cool to see like you have canine units that participate and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I love seeing demonstrations.
Yeah.
You know, some of the skill set, and you know, it takes a lot of training, a lot of discipline. You know, to do what you guys do. I told you I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And to hit on that, so last year we did participate with, or I should say, I participated in part of the events for National Night Out. We take that and we kind of find an area, an entity, a body who could use some of the funds that's raised just from the very minimal booth rentals to have the businesses and entities out there. And we'll provide that to an entity. Last year it was the Concerns of Police Survivors. So that's a group that was formed to help family members and coworkers and such who are involved in or related to a law enforcement officer who's lost their life in the line of duty.
Yeah.
So we were able to raise a lot of money through that, and one of the ways we did that was I volunteered to, under the circumstances, we raised enough money to put on the bite suit and be bit by a dog. We were very successful with that, and I want to do that again this year. This year's recipient from that will be the Kansas Law Enforcement Torch Run. So if you're at all involved in the Special Olympics or the Law Enforcement Torch Run, you know anything about it, there will be more information coming up later, but that will be the recipient this year. And it's going to be a lot of fun. They should be out there, and if you don't know about them, we'll provide some more videos in the future. But it's a lot of good fun, and we have the fire department out there and EMS, and it's a good time. So things like that are great. We also do things like we help participate in security for like Fall Festival, for parades around, and like the Oak Street Elementary Parade. We'll provide traffic control for that. That's a fun time. And that's another small town thing. You don't see the grade school and other entities that's coming out on Main Street in the town and having their kids parade up and down Main Street in their costumes. And so that's a pretty neat, fun thing to do. That's unique to Goddard in its small town feel. Right. We also do, historically we've done annual bike rodeos, just kind of because of staffing and really mostly trying to get back into it from COVID. We haven't done that for a few years, but I think we're going to try to do that, maybe not this year, but next year and years coming after that as far as some bicycle safety. We also help with the First National Bank has a safety fair each year, and they'll do that this year in the middle or end of July, I believe. So we'll be there, and we have car seat technicians who help people with getting their car seats installed and seeing if they're up to the safety standards. So
very good.
There's a lot of things like that we do.
Well, you guys are out there, man, and you're the service you guys provide, security. You know, it means the world to us. What can we do as citizens to help support you better?
You know, just be the extra eyes and ears, because we are the ones who are able to enforce the laws. All the citizens have to help partake in the actual process of keeping one another safe. Yeah. We're just the ones that are called when something has to be handled in a legal little legal means, I guess you could say.
So we talked about we just voted on the security camera system. You know what I'm talking about?
For the license plate readers.
Yeah, I love that. Can you elaborate a little bit about that?
So Wichita and all over the country, a company named Flock came up with a unique camera system that reads license plates. And not just the license plates, but identifies the vehicles and takes a snapshot of them. It's not a full-on camera that's recording events everywhere as far as like a CCTV kind of a system, but it is set up on roadways and gathers that information that is within a certain time period, like 30 days, is capable of providing the information of a vehicle that may help us locate a crime victim or a suspect, and provides massive amounts of helpful information to law enforcement for specifically just our area, Sedgwick County. Wichita Police Department has been very successful with solving a lot of their major case crimes from the Flock system, and we will be adding 11 cameras to our city that will only make this area even more robust.
Yeah.
So they'll communicate with them, and the accessibility is just paramount.
So it would help, like if the hypothetical, we had an Amber Alert happen out there, a child went missing, or just whatever the alerts are.
Exactly.
It helps narrow down the escape route, or just it helps us talk to our bigger community at large,
and gather information. If someone has a right out here at the park, and where we do actually have CCTV cameras to help prevent or be able to respond more appropriately to a crime. If a vehicle were to take a child and a person couldn't read the license plate, but some witness said it was a maroon Chevrolet pickup, then every vehicle that passes in front of the camera, a snapshot is taken with that tag number and the vehicle picture. So if all we needed to do was look for a maroon Chevrolet pickup within a certain time period and potentially have it narrowed down to only a few vehicles in that time period, and then you have a license plate, which obviously gives us access through other means of determining ownership and who could be a suspect. Man,
I love technology, and that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's some of the thing I was talking about. We're in a 2023. And we still have that small town feel, but we have the technology to back it up. That's tremendous, man. I love it. What's a good way for the folks to contact you if they have any questions about the police department or
I mean, my email address is on the city and police department's website.
Okay.
So if they have any questions specifically to us that's not emergent, they can send an email. If they're needing to speak with an officer to have them respond for whatever needs, whether it be a vehicle jump start or an unlock, or they're the victim of a crime, or they just need to ask an officer a question, 911 is the avenue to do that.
Perfect.
So we're dispatched through them, and that's the easiest and most formal way to get an officer.
Yeah. Well, Chief, I want to thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for tuning in to Goddard at a Glance. Again, I'm Councilman Aubrey Collins with the one and only Chief Lance Beagley. And thank you guys. We'll see you again soon.